Welcome to pay-to-play report for Zombie. Now, originally Zombie game was called Zombie U because it was specifically designed for Wii U. Back when Ubisoft and Nintendo made a partnership, and because, well, Ubisoft thought that Wii U will take off really well, and therefore Zombie U will be a very big hit. Sadly, Zombie U that came out in 2012 was not a big hit because, well, the actual system Wii U was not a big hit. As a result, well, in 2015 they decided to port the game to other platforms, well, including PC, and here we are playing it on PC. There are no really mods for this game that I could find. The only thing actually I could find was a mod that made the game darker, but to me that did not need, was not really necessary. The reason for it is that you do have brightness control settings in the game, and they do tell you how to set it up, and once I did that, I was perfectly fine with the game being as is. It was atmospheric enough for me to be always on edge when I was playing it, so I don't really see any need for the mod. Maybe I'm wrong and I haven't tried it, maybe it will make everything different, but I did not, from the description that was given, I did not see it as necessary. Now, playing the game, well, you can play it two ways. There's a normal mode and there's a survival mode. The normal mode, well, like you can see, is it says here survivors played 14, and the reason for it is that once you die in the game, you respawn as another person in the previous save spot, and you continue on, so and go on and on. So it's pretty much kind of a normal type of approach. I guess as a save point. The save point or checkpoint type of a game is slightly different in terms of that. If you die and then you go back to your previous save point, you're not gonna experience the same zombies or same thing that again all over again. So you're not gonna be able to say, oh, now I'm gonna open the door, the guy gonna be to the right, open the door, there's gonna be the guy's gonna be to the left, right? You won't be able to then with the second person to just walk through and just go all crazy and then just shoot everybody, anticipating all the locations of zombies there are. The survival mode is that it's pretty much the mode is where once you have one person, once that person died, that's it. You go back to the very beginning of the game. There's no choices. And so there you go. I decided to try to play in survival mode specifically for this review. I played for the normal mode before that. Another thing about the normal mode that you're not gonna find in the survival mode is that if your previous guy got killed by a zombie by being bitten, you will have to kill your previous character to get all your stuff that you had on you when you got killed, right? And depending on how long that character survived, that's how strong that zombie will be. Alright, well, as you can see, it's a typical zombie game. There's an intro, and here we are. We're gonna start out here. It's a very beginning of the game. I cannot really jump forward or backwards in the game since the way the game save points work.
Time to earn your keep.
And so now, as you can see, you just heard the voice of a person. This person will be guiding you throughout the game. It is a person that will tell you about things in the game world and how to use them and so on and so forth. Will tell you a bit of a story behind the world of what happened. The game takes place in London, just so that you know if you didn't get it from the starting little intro that they always have whenever you start the game. So here you have monitors which will activate, which will allow you to look into things, but you're not really looking into things in real time. There will be just information screens for you. There's a stash of items that you can put things into. As you collect, you'll be able to here to upgrade your weapons that you'll find. Right now I have pretty much simple weapons. You also get a flashlight. Right here there's two weapons that I currently have on my person, and this is the melee weapon, which is a cricket bat. You have to cock every single weapon before you can use it, so that's required. Then I also have a pistol right here, you can see, with here's bullets, and of course I have the flashlight. The flashlight itself is not something that
Give me a sec, I'll get those shutters up for you.
you just can have on all the time. Well, number one, it will attract zombies to you. Number two, you do have limited battery on it. So once I turn off, you can see there in the top right, it shows me the battery usage and how much you use up. So in the more, well, I guess I can say more lit spaces, you would want to have the flashlight off. Otherwise, you could end up with having no flashlight in a dark space. And as you go along, you'll find things, and you can look for. Let's say here we have actually a standing turret, which I don't recommend using. Here we have a turret right there. Okay, you know, and there's a few zombies moving around.
Shit, you've got incoming. Check your radar.
And the reason you don't want to use a turret is because when you're using it, you don't see things around you. And now we know that something's coming at me, and you can actually hear a zombie kind of making noise, and that it's coming, but you don't know. I don't know where it is, so I'll try to see. Look at. Okay, here's a zombie. Oh, okay, I landed a nice hit. Generally, headshots kill. But the problem is usually landing that headshot. And while it looks like, you know, this was simple enough, sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's much more difficult to kill a zombie off. It takes quite a few whacks with a weapon, or even a few shots with a weapon to kill zombie off. And as you're doing so, even though it looks like you have a pretty good field of vision, you don't. Zombies can sneak up on you. They can attack you from different angles. And the game has a tendency to lull you into comfort. You think that you're safe. You think that everything is good and that there's no enemies. But the game will say, yeah, well, you'll see. You'll run into an enemy. You can loot things in the game, like you saw here. You can find stuff. It doesn't. The stuff is randomly generated in lootable areas, so doesn't mean that each time I'm going to open up this crate, these cases, these baggage cases, that I'll actually find something in there. No. It's also a very, very good chance that I'll find nothing. Other thing, like as you can see, I can use my radar to spot zombies, but if they're on the one level below, I cannot do that. I do not have capability to do so. They will not spot. I need to actually to be in the thing to spot them. And there's you know, you can see it's dots, red dots. Now, those red dots don't always mean that it's a zombie. What it could possibly mean is that it's anything living moving around. So such things as rats, which are quite common here, could be causing this. So sometimes you don't even know if there are zombies around or it's just rats. And this of course adds to the whole tension and atmosphere as you're trying to walk around and try to make sure you don't get killed. And when I play this in normal mode, even though I know that I can get respawned, I still felt that tension, constant tension. That's, you know, that the possibility that I get jumped. And the game again has a very good way of lulling you into saying that, well, everything's fine, but then it might start building tension up through music, through sound, and it's gonna be like, oh, and you're feeling that, and you're saying, you feel yourself like, well, looking around, it's like you have to be safe, but what's going on? How come you're not safe? And you know, because you hear the sound, you hear the music, that something has to happen, then suddenly the zombie jumps at you from somewhere you did not expect. Very well done. And as far as I know, it's actually all scripted. It's not randomly done. It's not something that the AI does itself. It's all scripted, but the game throughout itself does a great job of lulling you into this kind of a situation. Oh, there's a zombie there. So now, I don't want to cross over because that's a very slow thing and the zombie can hit me and attack me. In the game, one bite is all it takes for you to die. So, you have to be very careful. And I can't open this door, it's locked. So I have to cross over here and be immediately ready to fight. Zombie has not seems to be noticing me. Decided to pay attention to something else. Okay, here we go. See now, so that's a bit of a. As I'm trying to aim for the head, it's not that as easy. There we go. We got him. There's a plenty of places that you can loot right here. You can see I'm gonna try to loot for things. The issue is that not a lot of these places actually have things. You're gonna be looting it and you're gonna find out that there's nothing in it. And that's how the game is. It's very sparing with the amount of resources it gives you. So you constantly have to be thinking about what I'm gonna do. So you're not gonna be going in there, you know, Rambo style with all the different guns or anything like that, and shooting down zombies. You will be quite often facing them in a melee combat for simple reason that you want to have that extra ammo for much tougher situations. But you don't know when it's gonna come, either.
That's the one.
So, as you notice, I also closed the doors behind me. Now, the doors will not hold zombies away. Zombies will be able to break through the doors. In order to stop them from breaking through the doors, you need to use the barricades. Like here, you see the doors barricaded with planks. Then you have to pick up planks, and you also, in order to nail planks or to take them off, you have to have a tool, a hammer, to do so. If you don't have it, well, you can't do anything about it. The doors will kind of restrain for a bit the zombies, but eventually they will come through. And of course you can also move objects to block the doors right here as it's done. Okay. Additionally, another thing that I found when it comes to resources in the game is that there's a certain limit here that you will experience, and limit is based on this: your backpack size. Your backpack has only so many free spots here that you can put stuff in, and so as you go along in different areas, you will find things, and you'll be like, okay, well, I found things, and I can try to use them, right? I can try to pick them up, but the issue would be is that, well, you don't have space to put the things into.
I help them fortify places
And
like this.
so you might need to start thinking, well, should I drop something in my backpack, or should I just not pick up the thing? The problem is that if you, not all the items will be available when you come back. Some of them will disappear. That means you need to make that strategic decision at this moment and decide: do you want something? Do you want to pick up something or not? There's items always scattered throughout the area, and you can see them where they kind of a bit of a reflective here, but there's a lot of garbage lying around the area that can obscure this item, so you make it not visible, easily visible to you to pick up. Right? I'm able to pick stuff up because, well, I seen them enough, so I know kind of the areas where the journey stuff will be hidden. And here I found a food item. Food items in the game provide, well, they're just health, basically, I think in most games food items are health. But again, spotting items is going to be a problem. Most levels are very linear, but there are a few ways to go around them. There are secret areas, and so you can decide which way you want to go through an area. Do you want to go, how are you going to approach it? So generally it is recommended, I would say, to go through different areas and to look into different areas. Why? Because you'll find items, you'll find things that you might not have seen. Like here I found an upgrade for the weapon that I can use later on. There could be something here, some other items here that I might see, might not see. Oh, there you go. So you see, I literally looked at it at first and I did not notice it, even though I should be better than this now that I played through the whole game. I'm gonna try to demonstrate a few issues. One of the issues with the game, I would say, but I would say from the very beginning is that one of the things that I really did not like is that The weapons that you get in the
Zombi
beginning
predicted
here
the
that
plague
I have.
and the Great Fire of London that stopped it. And he saw plague victims in his own lifetime. Even tried to find a cure.
So is
A
that
panacea. But it's a myth. You can
I'm gonna
see
let the
it
guy
with anyone.
give you a bit
There's
of
no
so
cure
talks
for
about a
this.
bit of story, blah blah blah. So is that these two items, the cricket bat and the basic pistol, are not droppable. I cannot drop these items, I cannot put them into anywhere, and this creates a problem because, like I said, box space is limited. Your storage also in your safe house is limited. And so you kind of stuck with these items, and if you find a different weapons that you like, and you want to substitute, you cannot. Neither can you actually take out bullets from the weapons that you loaded them into, right? So if I find a better pistol, let's say, I cannot take out these 13 bullets that are already in this pistol. That's it. They are in there. And if I run out of ammo, it's not like I can drop this pistol and say, well, I don't want to use the pistol anymore because I have no ammo. No, it's you always carrying it around, even with zero ammo. Another thing you notice that I don't have the minimap anymore. This is a kind of a part of the game's mechanic is that you need to scan certain areas and do certain things before you can get the minimap. Otherwise, you kind of walking around blind, trying to figure out where to make turns and where to walk properly into. As we go along, of course, these things will get easier.
Use your pad to scan that door and I'll hack it open for you. I'll get that for you. I've locked the place down for your safety. Okay, you're free to come and go now.
Now, there's that tool that you saw just me using. This will become very important. Eventually, you'll be using it more often. And it, as you can see here, the CCTV cameras. We are in London, so there are quite a lot of them. And the game does focus around the idea of using the CCTV cameras for your informational purposes. And as he said, right now, that person that you're trying to find the junction boxes. CCTV cameras specifically to get stuff.
Scan every CCTV junction.
Right there, that's what he's saying. I guess I kind of preluded that, but that's fine. Now we get to the atmospheric part of the game, which is something that I really like. The noise, the sounds of the game. The game does not have many large environments. You quite often will be walking through small corridors, small walkways in such a way, and I'm guessing that's the reason for it is because, well, the game was developed for Wii U, so there was processing limitations. But as you do so, as you walk through that, you feel this kind of atmosphere of dread in a certain way. You always kind of worried what's going to happen next. I never kind of felt not being on edge while playing the game. Because you don't know what's going to happen next at any moment. You think that you kind of have these things figured out, but you usually don't in the end because the game will jump scare you, like I already mentioned that. You constantly trying to be careful, trying to make sure that you don't die, literally. The designers use that whole narrow, small corridor as a darkness, you never in a full light ever, to that very well advantage. You never 100% certain of your surroundings. Here they see that junction that the guy is talking about. I'm gonna scan it and.
Excellent.
Now you can see I got the minimap.
Without a good map, you're a goner out there.
There we go. I'm gonna scan for zombies, and I can see one there in front of me. I don't see any other ones, but that doesn't mean that there's no other ones. I could start fighting with this one, and the other ones might be pretending to be corpses. That's also quite possible. Suddenly they'll get up and start attacking me, right? So you have to be always very careful about things, always looking around. You see what your surroundings. Like I said, it looks like you have a good field of vision, but you really don't. So there. Oh, nice. Got a headshot. And you always looting. You're trying to find new items, things. Like I said, resources are scarce, but you don't know where you might find them. They might be lying around and easily available, but they might not be. This whole atmosphere, constantly dread, constant, darkness and fear. Now you're gonna say, well, you kind of seem to have no problems finding stuff. Yeah, well, I already kind of know where to look and how to look, and generally how things look like, so that my eye catches them. When you start playing this, I was not that good at finding stuff at all. It took me a while to catch on to finding everything from secret passages to different other areas and so on. Eventually you'll know secret passages, shortcuts, and such things that the game allows you. The maps and the ability to really review the places that you have been to and see what items remain behind. The game will never tell you exactly where they are, but it can tell you that, oh, in such an area you still have few things available. Also, your friend here will explain some of the items to tell you exactly how they function and what you can do with them. That's also pretty important. Throughout the whole time, you know, I try to be as careful as possible. There's another thing. Okay, good. Noise attracts zombies and so on. So you have to be very, very careful at every single point. And like I said, flashlight, very important. As you will go along, you will find upgrades for everything that you have. For your weapons, you will upgrade the weapons and so on, and that will be available. To me, there's a bit of an issue with that. The issue being is a problem with the actual fact that a lot of the stuff, like a lot of weapons, you're gonna get more, I guess, closer to the end of the game, and so you'll be wondering, you know, well, which weapon is better? And while weapons do have here, you can see they have different statistics on them, so you can tell, well, this weapon can do this and this weapon can do that. In terms of, you will be kind of trying to think, well, what's better, with bigger capacity magazine or greater firepower, or is having a faster reload, faster firing speed, or better spread? You know, kind of trying to weigh this all out, and you can't really try them out, the weapons, because you have limited ammo all the time. So in that way, I think the game did not really space them out that well. And here's another issue right there that I demonstrated, is the fact that the corpses and the zombies that you kill kind of fly around sometimes like this, and so they might fly off and be like, oh well, I was trying to see and search that corpse, but now it fly off completely in a different random area. I have no idea where it is, especially when it's really dark. So that, I would say, another issue. And now I'm gonna go face the zombies there.
Whoa, 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 you sure you're ready to face down a bloody horde? It's your life.
Yeah, in this case, it is very much my life, so I'm gonna try to... Now, headshots are important, this is how you... But, as you can see, accuracy is not that great at first, and so I'm gonna be trying to score as many headshots as possible, but that doesn't mean that I'll always be successful. As I'm doing this, you can see just that I got a level up. Using weapons upgrades your ability to use them. You will be able to reload faster, shoot more accurately, and so on. So using the same type of weapon is actually beneficial in the game. Before we do anything else, I'm gonna use some health items. And I'm doing the wrong thing. I'm dropping the items, not using them. Okay, here it is. Let's use. Okay, good. And now you kind of used up a lot of bullets. Hopefully, thankfully I found some more on the dead corpses. and a few more health items also. I'm doing the wrong thing again, dropping items rather than using them. There we go. And here in the, you can see you also have a whole bunch of other things like such as notebook, which will be part of where you can read up on the story once you find different news articles or documents that you can read. Some documents will be actually voiced, so you're not going to be picking it up. They'll be just voiced as you, and then you can just continue on walking around the area while the narrator will tell you the story behind it. So from that perspective, it's a bit convenient. So the story itself is very interesting. It's very well tied in together. As you play along, you will find it more and more tied in and be like, oh yes, that's what it is. That's what, you know, that makes sense now. That ties into here and so on. In that way, it's very interesting, very well done. Like I would say, and together with the atmosphere, where I also, you know, was feeling on the edge, always feeling tense. Adding all that together was a very interesting, very good experience. Now the main theme of the game, I think, is this whole idea of whether you should be helping others in this situation or whether you should not be. Now the game does, I think, delivers the answer towards helping others more, but it does kind of try to present the other case, and it doesn't do so well. But in the end, I think, you know, this kind of attempt is there, and it's done very well. You know, in terms of presenting in some way, I guess at first especially, but then I think the way it ends, it kind of definitely tells you the answer to the whole dilemma. And the dilemma, of course, is not only that you're supposed to be helping others or whether surviving yourself. It's more of the idea that whether you should be helping others or teaching others how to survive. And the idea that, well, teach a man to fish, you know, he'll feed himself for the rest of his life. The idea, or whether is that just sufficient? But it's either one or the other. And I think the game does show this kind of a interesting idea. But again, it does give you an answer. And here we can encounter the door that I cannot enter because I need a code to actually enter. Eventually, you'll find a way to find those codes. That means you will be coming back to this to the areas that you visited before, and the zombies will be back. Might not be in the same locations. They'll be back, and the items and the places that you looted might be new items there that you did not see before and pick up. It will be available for you to pick up, right? So that way, this game kind of does not gives you ever feeling being 100% always safe. Well, except of course in your safe house, that one is always safe. Well, so in conclusion, I would say that this is it's a good game. I really enjoyed playing it. Enjoyed the atmosphere, the intensity of, you know, being in such a always tense situations, always trying to see what's going on around me, right? Always feeling being threatened. And I did end up enjoying the story. So I would say it's a good game, but there's nothing really cool about this game. It doesn't really do anything really amazing or cool like that. It's a zombie game. You tense. You're not cool when you're playing it. So I would say it's not a cool game, but it's very good. It's good, I would say. I don't really think I have a category for very good right now. So it is a good game. I do recommend people to play it, especially if you have a Uplay Plus subscription. It's available there. So once you subscribed, the game is for you. It's free. Well, thank you for watching and for listening.